We're counting down 15 ingenious skills that black grandfathers turned into real cash during the 1960s. From weekend trades that kept neighborhoods humming, to side hustles that paid college tuition and built generational wealth outside the factory. Each entry reveals how resourcefulness and community demand created a hidden economy. Some of these cash makers may surprise you. So which skill set earned the top spot? Let's begin with the one that kept engines running and families moving forward. Number 1. The shade tree mechanic was a fixture in black neighborhoods during the 1960s, offering car repairs right in the backyard or driveway, often beneath the spread of a maple or oak. For families priced out of dealership service bays, these mechanics charged half the going rate. A tune-up might run just $6 compared to a shop's $12. On a good Saturday, a skilled mechanic could clear $35 in cash, sometimes more, tuning carburetors and swapping mufflers for neighbors and friends. Repeat clients meant steady work. Word traveled fast when someone could keep a Chevy running for less. Over the course of a year, that weekend hustle could add up to $1,600, enough to cover a home's down payment or buy a new set of tools. These mechanics set the pattern for neighborhood trades, where skill and trust mattered more than a license on the wall, and every dollar earned under the shade went straight into the family's future. In second place, the neighborhood handyman became a lifeline for black families locked out of union plumbing and electrical jobs. When a pipe burst on a cold January night, or a fuse needed replacing before Sunday dinner, these men answered calls that union shops refused. Emergency visits brought in $14, nearly 5 hours of factory pay in a single trip. On weekends, a steady stream of leaky faucets and faulty outlets could add up to $45 in cash, bundled discreetly in envelopes or tucked away in a kitchen drawer. Over a year, that side work meant $2,160, enough to cover a home's down payment or send a child to college. Help wanted ads in black newspapers spelled out the need: handyman, plumbing and wiring, reliable, call after 6 p.m. Union exclusion memos from the era show why these jobs stayed in the community. Versatility was the hallmark. A single worker could fix a kitchen sink, rewire a porch light, and patch a wall before dusk, turning every skill into a cash margin that built generational wealth. Third on our list, the post-shift barber's chair became more than a sideline. It was a neighborhood anchor and a steady source of cash. In countless basements and kitchens, grandfathers transformed a single chair and a set of clippers into a business that ran on trust and repeat customers. A haircut cost about $1.50, and a busy evening could bring in $8, sometimes more if a line formed after the plant whistle blew. Over a year, these nightly sessions added up to nearly $960, a sum that rivaled a month's factory wage. Many barbers kept a well-worn notebook, jotting down names and tallying tabs for regulars who paid on payday. These ledgers, passed down through families, show not only the flow of cash, but the web of relationships with fathers, sons, and neighbors, all relying on the same steady hand. The barbershop was a place for advice, laughter, and news, as much as for a fresh fade. In an era when exclusion from white-owned shops was the norm, these homegrown barbers provided a service that was both economic lifeline and social glue, making every cut count toward the next goal, whether it was a down payment or a set of new clippers. Number 4 on our list, the weekend landscaper brought order to front yards and cash to the kitchen drawer, one lawn at a time. With a push mower, a rake, and sometimes a son or nephew in tow, black grandfathers in the 1960s turned Saturday mornings into a steady business. A single mow earned about $3.50, enough to make a real difference when stacked across a full route. A full weekend could bring in $40, adding up to nearly $1,920 over the course of the mowing season. Church bulletins often listed local crews, and word of mouth kept the schedules packed during summer peaks when grass grew fastest and demand soared. Unlike indoor trades, landscaping followed the rhythm of the seasons. Savings from long, hot days funded winter bills and helped keep the mortgage paid when snow covered the grass. This outdoor work widened the circle of neighborhood trades, bridging skilled labor and micro-street economies, all while keeping families afloat through the natural ebb and flow of the year. Number 5. The shoe shiner carved out a space for instant earnings with nothing more than a portable kit and a good spot on a busy sidewalk. In the 1960s, a shine cost around 80 cents, and a steady hand could polish a dozen pairs in an hour, enough to bring in $9 by sundown. Over the course of a year, that daily hustle added up to $432, all in cash and often spent on groceries or school books before the day was done. The beauty of the trade was its low barrier to entry. Even young boys could join the street economy with a brush, rag, and a can of polish, setting up shop outside churches, barber shops, or corner stores. Portability meant flexibility, kits tucked under an arm, ready for the next block or community event. This was micro-entrepreneurship in its purest form: fast cash, no overhead, and a vital lesson in self-reliance for the next generation. Number 6, the television repairman brought technical know-how straight into the living room, turning a briefcase of vacuum tubes and a soldering iron into a steady weekend income. In the 1960s, televisions were prized possessions, and when a picture went dark or a sound faded out, families called on trusted repairmen rather than risk a costly shop visit. A standard house call ran $15, half a week's groceries, and a skilled technician could handle 4 calls in a single Saturday, pocketing $60 in cash. Over the course of a year, those weekend fixes added up to nearly $2,900, a sum that rivaled a second full-time job. Classified ads in black newspapers offered TV repairs fast, fair, after 5 in the evening, and many grandfathers kept a toolkit ready in the trunk, filled with spare tubes and wire cutters. This was a trade that demanded precision and trust. One wrong move could fry a set, but a successful repair meant a grateful client and a reputation that spread quickly across the neighborhood. Unlike quick cash gigs, television repair called for real expertise, rewarding those who mastered the circuit board with higher rates and steady work, bridging the world of manual trades and the emerging world of electronics. Number 7, the upholsterer turned fabric scraps and worn-out chairs into weekend cash, working from home workshops that often doubled as living rooms. In the 1960s, a single reupholstery job brought in $12, 4 times what a factory worker made in an hour. With 2 chairs finished on a Saturday and a sofa on Sunday, a skilled upholsterer could clear $48 in a weekend, adding up to over $2,300 a year. Old trade pamphlets and family artifacts tell the story: cigar boxes filled with bills, ledgers tracking jobs for neighbors, and swatches of fabric saved for the next project. One family remembers their grandfather restoring a threadbare armchair, using leftover cloth from a neighbor's curtains, and pocketing the cash in an envelope marked college fund. This was artistry as much as labor, proof that ingenuity and resourcefulness could turn even discarded materials into steady income and lasting comfort. 8th place, the roofer's trade meant braving steep pitches and blazing summer heat for payouts that dwarfed a week's factory wage. Black grandfathers formed patch and tar crews every spring and fall, tackling leaks and re-shingling aging roofs that white contractors refused or overcharged to fix. A single day on the ladder could bring in $45, triple the daily rate on the assembly line. Working weekends, a family-run crew might clear $90, dividing the cash among brothers, sons, or cousins. Over a year, these seasonal hustles stacked up to more than $4,300, all in bills that never touched a bank or tax form. Oral histories recall the hazards, hot tar burns, sudden slips, and the constant risk of injury with no insurance. But the rewards were immediate and substantial, with every patched roof funding school fees, car repairs, or the next mortgage payment. Roofing raised the stakes, high risk, high reward labor that built wealth one shingle at a time. Number 9, the painter's trade offered a steady, lower-risk path to cash for black grandfathers in the 1960s, with house painting jobs circulating through neighborhood networks and word-of-mouth referrals. A single room brought in $35, while a weekend's worth of interior or exterior work could net $70, matching a week's take-home from the factory floor. Over a year, these jobs added up to roughly $3,360, all in untaxed bills tucked away for home repairs, tuition, or the next big family purchase. Painters often worked block by block, moving from one house to the next as satisfied clients recommended them to friends and relatives. Neighborhood job boards and church bulletins were common sources for new leads, creating an efficient referral system that kept the work flowing, especially in spring and summer when demand for fresh coats surged. Unlike roofing, painting sidestepped the hazards of heights and heavy lifting, offering a reliable way to maintain properties and build wealth through consistent seasonal demand. In the 10th place, the butcher's craft brought sizable cash infusions to black households, especially when community events filled the calendar. In the 1960s, church anniversaries, holiday gatherings, and summer picnics meant orders for fresh-cut meats soared. A single event order could bring in $55, nearly half a week's factory pay in one afternoon. Butchers often worked out of small home shops or partnered with local grocers, supplying ribs, hams, and chicken for congregation dinners and family reunions. Church records and market ads from the era show a steady rhythm, 2 or 3 major events a month, each one paying cash on delivery. Over a year, that added up to more than $3,100, all untaxed and often earmarked for big expenses like tuition or a new roof. The economics spiked around holidays. Easter, Thanksgiving, and Christmas brought a rush of orders, turning the butcher's block into a source of community wealth. This event-driven trade set the stage for other food-based hustles, where skills in the kitchen or at the fryer could turn a weekend into a windfall. Number 11, the fish fryer brought a festive sizzle to church basements and family reunions, transforming a simple skill into a high-margin community event. In the 1960s, fish fries became a staple fundraiser. Cod and catfish, dipped in seasoned cornmeal, bubbling in cast iron pots, drawing crowds with the promise of good food and even better company. Church bulletins advertised Friday night fish fries, where a single event could net $110 in cash, nearly a week's factory wage for just a few hours of work. With up to 20 events each year, a skilled fryer could earn more than $2,200 over the season, all untaxed and often earmarked for church repairs, college tuition, or new Sunday suits. Recipes passed down through generations ensured every batch had the right crunch, while the social draw guaranteed steady turnout. These gatherings did more than fill plates. They built financial reserves, fostered unity, and kept the local economy in motion, one crispy fillet at a time. Number 12, the tailor or seamstress provided a steady heartbeat for the neighborhood's economy, one hem and one cuff at a time. In the 1960s, a simple alteration, taking in a suit or letting out a church dress, cost about $4, a price low enough to keep customers coming back week after week. For many black families, the sewing machine was more than a household appliance. It was a capital investment, passed down through generations and put to work after factory shifts ended. A busy tailor could handle 7 jobs in a weekend, earning $28 in cash, enough to cover groceries or slide into a savings envelope. Over the course of a year, that meant roughly 1,344 untaxed dollars, all built from repeat business and word-of-mouth referrals. Church ads and classified listings in the black press kept the orders flowing, especially as Easter and wedding season approached. Unlike food-based hustles, tailoring thrived on regular, small-ticket jobs, supporting families and sustaining the vital appearance economy that kept Sunday best looking sharp. Number 13, the cobbler's craft kept shoes on the move and cash in the pocket, one doorstep repair at a time. In the 1960s, black grandfathers carried portable last kits, small wooden forms, hammers, and glue, ready to fix soles and heels right on the porch or in a kitchen corner. A typical repair cost $2.50, less than half the price of new shoes, making it an easy choice for families watching every dollar. On a good day, a cobbler might handle 6 pairs, earning $15 in cash, steady work in a world where every penny mattered. Over the course of a year, that added up to around $720, enough to cover a season's worth of bills or set aside for emergencies. Oral accounts recall loyal customers who would walk blocks for a trusted repair, preferring a known hand over a faceless shop. This trade embodied a culture of thrift and durability, where fixing what you had was a point of pride and a practical way to stretch a paycheck. The cobbler's steady presence prepared the ground for more technical repair trades, showing that skill and reliability could turn even worn-out shoes into a source of wealth. Number 14, the appliance repairman became a household necessity in black neighborhoods of the 1960s, stepping in when a refrigerator groaned or a stove refused to heat. With factory wages stretched thin, a broken appliance meant more than inconvenience. It threatened the week's meals or a family gathering. These repairmen arrived with a battered toolkit, often anchored by a multimeter and a coil of wire, diagnosing issues on kitchen floors and back porches. A typical house call cost $18, a sum that undercut official service shops and stayed within reach for most families. Working weekends, a skilled repairman could clear $54, nearly half a week's plant pay, by fixing thermostats, unclogging burners, or swapping out worn belts. Classified ads in black newspapers and handwritten receipts tucked in family Bibles trace the steady flow of these jobs, with annual earnings reaching around $2,592, all in cash. Trust played a central role. Families called on neighbors they knew, confident their appliances would be fixed right the first time. This technical hustle served as a bridge to ownership, laying groundwork for those who would later open corner stores or sandwich shops, and highlighting the critical role of household tech maintenance in building generational wealth. Number 15, the corner store or sandwich shop owner stands as the pinnacle of side hustle turned asset in black communities of the 1960s. After long shifts at the plant, grandfathers opened storefronts that doubled as neighborhood lifelines, selling sandwiches, penny candy, and groceries from dawn to dusk. The business ran on a tab and trust system, with families jotting IOUs in spiral notebooks and settling up on payday. This quiet credit network kept food on tables and built loyalty that outlasted any bank loan. Daily profits might reach $12, swelling to $36 on weekends when tabs were paid in full. Over a year, that meant nearly $1,728 in untaxed cash, enough to seed a down payment or reinvest in inventory. Ownership brought more than income. It created a legacy, turning exclusion into equity and passing down not just cash, but the deed itself. Across all 15 skills, one pattern stands out. Exclusion bred innovation. When doors closed, Black grandfathers built economies rooted in trust, cash, and practical mastery. Their side hustles funded homes and educations, transforming obstacles into assets. Today, as gig platforms take bigger cuts and skilled trades face shortages, their example reminds us, true economic power is built, not given. Let us know which legacy skills surprised you most in the comments.